Hey, this is Jay Bartels. As I go over the Solavei compensation plan and some of the other things with this huge launch they're about to do, and I will be on the conference call because I really want to hear what's going on, and I wish them the best of luck. And I'm just going through their compensation plan, and it's just not exciting me. Basically, they want you to sign up three people with mobile service, and it has to be T-Mobile service, and they're going to have T-Mobile compatible phones. So it's one thing to get people to leave their own service if they're in a contract to go to prepaid, because prepaid is the way to go. So they have the right idea there. But when you're limited to just using one prepaid carrier, T-Mobile, which has a limited coverage area, and they're going to give you a limited amount of phones, it's going to create problems. I mean, people are going to jump on this because it's going to excite them at first, but basically they're calling this a trio. So you get three of your friends or family to sign up with the mobile service, and they come in and they buy the $50 unlimited package. And some may have to buy the phone, some may be lucky enough to have the phone. Others are going to be stuck with a CDMA phone without a GSM card, and they're going to have to buy a phone. But they're talking about a trio. Basically, you bring three other people in who buy the service, and they stick 6 days. So if you bring a trio in, they're going to reward you with $50, which is very nice of them. But then they started talking about bringing in 2 trios and 3 trios and 4 trios. So now you're talking about 6, 9, and 12 people in 60 days to actually achieve this status. And with the problems with people having to use the T-Mobile service and compatible T-Mobile phones, it's not going to be as easy to do as it may look here on paper. Basically, to get 9 people in to pay your cell phone service, is asking a lot and they're not giving a lot in return. You know, another thing that scares me, and I'm sure when they put this together they thought it'd be great, you know, showing all the experience of the people involved here and their background, and they have a COO, a head of operations, a head of finance, a head of legal, a head of products, sales head, head of member experience. They have this big team, and if you look right here, former T-Mobile head. You know, there's people involved here who are, this guy, here's a congressman here. I mean, these are big people involved in big business, involved in big corporation. So you're not really getting into some new launch family type atmosphere. This is big business centered around the T-Mobile service, and it kind of scares me more than anything. Look at it; they have a whole board of advisors and investors. I mean, you know, it looks to me like they plan on eventually taking this thing to Wall Street and going public with it, which is going to leave many people out in the cold. One of the main problems I see is there are very limited phones you can do, because this is basically a T-Mobile venture and it's aimed for you to use T-Mobile phones. Now, there are other GSM phones that you can use with this, and let's talk about GSM phones, because basically you have T-Mobile and At&T with GSM phones. These are phones that carry a SIM card. And if you go down the list, you can see it. There's several phones here, but it's very limited to the phones that will actually work and get 3G to 4G speeds. Now, they talk about the unlimited 4G, but some of these phones will only get 3G. But then we have a problem over here, because they start talking about unusable phones, and when you get these phones, they will work on the T-Mobile network, but you will get 2G speeds, or edge they call it, which is basically the equivalent of having dial-up compared to high-speed internet these days. And some of these phones you'll recognize, like the Samsung Captivate, and the HTC One X, and then of course the iPhone. Now, of course, T-Mobile doesn't make the iPhone, so the only iPhone you'll be able to use if you bring it over from AT&T. And from my experience, and I had brought an iPhone over to the T-Mobile prepaid, and it basically didn't function or didn't function properly. And then you even have the Samsung Galaxy, which is the original Samsung Galaxy S. So these phones right here, they will work, but you won't be able to use them as far as using the app. If you read right here, usable phones will not have access to the Solavei mobile app, and members will need to log in from a desktop browser. So you won't be able to use this, and basically it's useless. And then you go down here, and here is the big thing. This is it right here. These phones and tablets will not work. And any CDM phones with the IDEN number. So Verizon, Sprint, Boost, Metro PCS, all those phones that don't use GSM, they are on the CDMA network, which means code division multiple access. They won't work. You can't use a BlackBerry. So if you have a nice phone that you're using with Verizon or Sprint, including an iPhone or any Android, you're going to have to totally switch your service. They're not going to work. Basically, what they're telling you here is they want you to use T-Mobile phones, and only certain T-Mobile phones. And depending on your coverage area, some of you will not even be eligible to use this service because of T-Mobile's limited. They have a good coverage area, but it still is limited. So you're going to be stuck buying a new phone, and you're going to be stuck not being able to use an iPhone and a great deal of Androids. If you look on the map here, all these white areas, T-Mobile has no coverage there at all. So when you get out west here in particular, and what's amazing is that they're pretty much launching out of Washington, and it looks like they have very little coverage out there. You're not going to have T-Mobile coverage at all, neither 3G or 4G. And then that's going to create quite a problem for people who can't use their phones on a service designed to use their phone. So then, as far as like 2G voice, that's fine, but 2G voice, like I was saying earlier, when you get on back to a 2G network, when you're used to a 3G or 4G, it's like going back in time. So there's going to be those of you who can't even use this service, and it's not going to do you any good. You know, when you first sign up to get into the pre-launch, but before you pay any money, they do ask you what phone service you have. And they're hoping that you do have T-Mobile. And if you don't have a compatible phone, they right away are selling you this HTC One S for $529. So you may have to buy a phone and get rid of your existing phone. The problem with the HTC One, all these phones are getting ready to be discounted. They're not doing very well on the market. So you really don't want to have to come in and buy a phone. Besides the fact that you're limited to T-Mobile, which means T-Mobile has a big hand in this, which is kind of scary because it just reminds me like of big business, big corporation. I mean, why would you set up a business like this and only have one carrier when companies like LifeMobile and other companies out there carry prepaid for AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, and T-Mobile? I mean, T-Mobile also has another service called Simple Mobile. Then if you wanted to switch your AT&T service to a prepaid, you would have H2O or Red Pocket. And then as far as Sprint goes, if you wanted to go to prepaid and still work off their towers and keep your existing phone and number, you would have Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile. Verizon has their own prepaid, which is a little steep. It's $80 a month, and it's limited. But Verizon also offers Page Plus as well as Alltel. So, you know, I wish everyone the best of luck with this, but I'm getting bad vibes just for the fact that, one, T-Mobile has such a big hand in this. Two, T-Mobile has a limited coverage area. Three, you're going to have to use an approved T-Mobile phone and may have to buy your own phone. Four, the iPhone is just not going to work with this because T-Mobile doesn't sell an iPhone. And forget about bringing a Verizon iPhone over here because it's attached to the CDMA network. You bring an AT&T iPhone over here, and you're not going to get 4G on it. I can tell you from experience. I just did it with my daughter's iPhone. So I'm seeing a lot of red flags. And well, in all fairness, I am a LifeMobile rep, but I wanted to give Solavei their chance because I wish them well. I hope they're very successful. I hope people make a lot of money. But I do have to point out the differences. And the problem I have is that they are stuck with one carrier, T-Mobile, with limited coverage and with limited phones that are going to work there. And if you look over here at LifeMobile, we have T-Mobile, Simple Mobile, which is an affiliate of T-Mobile. And then over here we have Red Pocket, and over to the side of there is H2O. Those are both AT&T prepaid, so you can keep your AT&T iPhone or Android still working on the AT&T towers. You also have Boost Mobile and Virgin Mobile, which are Sprint prepaid, so all your Sprint phones, or most of your Sprint phones, will work with those. Sometimes they're limited. And then you have Page Plus and Alltel, and then you have Verizon prepaid. And Page Plus and Alltel are all part of Verizon's prepaid. They're affiliates there. So you have a choice of all four of your major carriers as far as prepaid goes. You have your T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon, which is a big difference because no matter what phone you have or which phone company you're with, you can go to a prepaid. You could still stay on the same main tower that you're using, whether you're on T-Mobile and AT&T who are working on the GSM, or if you're with Sprint and Verizon who are working on the CDMA towers. Your existing phone is going to work. You bring your existing phone number over there, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about coverage areas or coming in and buying new phones. The other thing is you only have to bring 3 people in as preferred customers. That means they come in and they pay, they buy their prepaid service, they pick it out for the company they want to be with for their phone. They pay an additional $29.95. But as soon as they sign up 3 other friends or family members who, and you know a lot of people are going to prepaid right now, as soon as 3 people join them, their cell phone service is absolutely free, and they don't have to pay that $29.95 ever again. So there's a big difference. You don't have to get 3 groups of 3 people to earn $60, which is enough money to pay your $50 T-Mobile. You just get 3 people, period. That's it. And we're just talking about coming in as a preferred customer. When you come in as an affiliate, the sky is the limit. Also, you bring in 3 people who are looking to get out of their cell phone contracts, who are looking to save money, who are looking to make money. As soon as you get only 3 people, your auto ship of $29.95 goes away, and you start making a great residual income. So, you know, there's a very, very big difference here, and it's all about choice. And as you can see by looking at this website, as the little flashes go by, we are not tied down to any one carrier. We provide services for all 4 major carriers, and there's a very big difference. So anyway, this is LifeMobile. Whatever you choose, I wish you the best, my friends. I want you all to be successful, but I want you to make an educated decision. So for now, this is Jay Bartels signing off.